Participants, yeah. A very good evening to all. I'm Pratiti Gandhi, student of third year BPharm MBA. I would like to welcome our Dean, Dr. Bala Prabhakar, our moderator, Dr. Harish Raulgaonkar, our panelists for today, and all the participants present in the meeting. Atmanirbhar Bharat, meaning self-reliant India, is a policy formulated by the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, with a vision to make India a bigger and an important part of the global economy. As the conveyor of IIC, I request Dr. Divya Suarez to enlighten us with a few words on Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Thank you, Pratiti. A very good evening to all. On behalf of Sri Kelwani Mandal's Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, Shobhaben Pratapbhai Patel School of Pharmacy and Technology Management, it is my pleasure to welcome our Dean, Dr. Bala Prabhakar, our moderator, Dr. Harish Raulgaonkar, our esteemed panelists, that's our own alumni, and our participants to the panel discussion on Atmanirbhar Bharat, Vocal for Local, Make in India for the World, which is being hosted by the Pharmacy Division of SVKM's NMIMS Innovation Council. As some of you here may be aware that the Ministry of Education, Government of India, has established Innovation Cell to foster the culture of innovation among higher education institutions. Their intention is to encourage, inspire, and nurture fertile minds, which are young, by supporting them in their ideas and help them transform into either prototypes or start their own venture for the benefit of the society at large. They envisage to create vibrant local innovation ecosystem and startup supporting mechanisms even in the campuses. In line with their goals, our objective is to help young minds cultivate and nurture skills, find innovative ways to do business. A policy which has been formulated by Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, Atmanirbhar Bharat, which translates into self-sufficient India for making India a bigger and more important part of the global economy, pursuing policies that are efficient, competitive, and resilient, and being self-sustaining and self-generating, which is a wonderful opportunity for all of us. To get better understanding of the same, we have amongst us our own alumni who have not only dreamt, but also worked very hard towards their dreams and transformed it into a reality. We are indeed grateful to all our alumni for accepting our invitation, and we look forward to hear from you. Dear participants, we have been presented with a commendable opportunity, and therefore I urge you to make the most of it. I hope this session will fill you with enthusiasm and ignite you with the motto, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya ma'am, for shedding light on the topic. To set the vibe of our discussion, let us watch a short clip on Atmanirbhar Bharat created by Mankind Pharma. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, Pratiti.
Yes.
हमसे बेहतर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम, आत्मनिर्भर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम। शून्य में संभावना आता हमें है देखना, विश्वविद्यालय तक्षशिला विश्व को पहला मिला, शल्य सुश्रुत प्रदान है, दुनिया के लिए वरदान है। जग को हमने ही सिखाया वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, आत्मनिर्भर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम, हमसे बेहतर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम। ताजमहल हुनर की पहचान है, जाना जग जगदीश से, पौधों में भी तो जान है। रमन ने लहरा दिया रमन प्रभाव का परचम, आत्मनिर्भर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम, हमसे बेहतर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम। स्वदेशी अपनाने लगे हम विदेशी भगाने लगे, खोजों का है ये सिलसिला जो चांद पे पानी मिला। यूएसबी भी हमने दिया, मत पूछो क्या क्या किया। हर गोविंद पे है नाज हमें, दिया डीएनए का राज हमें। देश की स्वदेश की है खोज पेंटियम, आत्मनिर्भर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम, हमसे बेहतर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम, आत्मनिर्भर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम, हमसे बेहतर हम बोलो वंदे मातरम।
Mankind.
I hope you all enjoyed this video created by Mankind Pharma. The video picturized a few of the renowned achievements of various initiatives taken by our country. Moving forward, we are honored to have with us our alumni students as the panelists for today. Mr. Mohit Harsolekar, batch of 2017 MPharm MBA. Mr. Bhavin Patel, batch of 2014 MPharm MBA. Mr. Ankit Tiwari, batch of 2017 MPharm. Ms. Niloni Shah, batch of 2015 BPharm MBA, and Mr. Pritesh Patel, batch of 2015 MPharm MBA. Our moderator for today's discussion is Dr. Haresh Raulgaonkar. Dr. Haresh Raulgaonkar has 19 years of rich industry experience and 12 years of academic experience. Dr. Haresh is a mechanical engineer and has done his engineering from a prestigious institute, VJTI. He has done his master's in marketing management from Wellinkar Institute of Management, Mumbai, and also holds a PhD in operations management from Leeds University, USA. His assignments in India include his association with Herdelia Chemicals, Britannia Biscuits, and PepsiCo India. He has given his valuable contribution in various factory operations like production management, maintenance management, project management, and production planning and control. He is a trained internal auditor for ISO 9000. Along with India, Dr. Haresh has worked abroad as a chief engineer and later as a factory manager with Sunseed Nigeria PLC in their 300 TPD cotton and soybean crushing plants. Subsequently, he led Sunseed Nigeria PLC as a profit center head. For the past 10 years, Dr. Haresh has been in the field of management education and was awarded in 2016 for his excellence in teaching. He has been working with SPP SPTM NMIMS Mumbai since 2010. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Pratiti, for that long introduction. Thank you very much. Let me now take over. I think, unfortunately, one of our panel members, Pritesh Patel, is yet to join us. He called me, and there is some medical emergency at his place. But he promised to join, and as soon as he joins, we will take his also thoughts on the matter. Meanwhile, let me officially welcome one after another. Let me start with, as the saying goes, ladies first. So let me welcome Niloni. Now, I remember Niloni among a group of bubbly girls. Her friends were all bubbly characters, but Niloni was, a student apart. She was the most studious, most sort of mannered girl I have seen, and she will also very diligently take down notes during the class. and later on pass it on to the friends. So I remember Niloni by all that. And later on, Niloni I request Niloni to really share how her journey was after she left SPP SPTM after her graduation and post graduation. So Niloni, over to you. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you, sir, for a very warm welcome. It does feel very good for you to fondly remember me like that. I passed out in the year 2015 after my course BPharm MBA from SPP SPTM. I started my professional journey with Glenmark. I was a part of the placement, I was one of the students who sat for the placement, and I got placed in Glenmark, and I joined the project management team of biosimilars. And my initial career started in that niche area. So it was a wonderful experience because biosimilars within pharmaceuticals is a very, very niche area. So I was very fortunate and lucky to have a wonderful and enriching experience with Glenmark. Then after Glenmark, I joined my father's company. My father's company is Encube Ethicals Private Limited. This is a 23-year-old organization. It's an integrated pharmaceutical organization that is solely devoted topical formulations in the field of dermatology. So for the next 1.5 years, I was a part of the business management team where I completely learned the ropes and from the operations point of view and from the management point of view of dermaceuticals. And that's when I realized, and I was fortunate enough to closely understand the whole area of skin science. And I was lucky enough to understand closely the entire cosmetics landscape, the skincare landscape. And I realized that there is a very big niche out there. So initially the idea came to me that there could be a lot more happening on the cosmeceutical front, a term that is not known by many and a term that confuses, because when people hear cosmeceuticals, they directly think of makeup, and cosmeceuticals is not makeup. So I studied a lot more in the subject and read a lot about the competition out there, researched a lot on the subject, and I realized that there is one niche and one area that has not been much tapped into, and that is pharma quality skincare. And that's when the whole idea came of forming a separate cosmeceutical organization. And thus, with the support of the parent company, Encube, we formed our own organization, a startup actually, called Confera Laboratories Private Limited, which would only be devoted to skincare. Okay. And it's been 2.5 years since been working on this. And in 2019, January, we officially launched this company. And that's what we're doing right.
Okay. Okay, good to know from you about this new venture. Definitely we'll like to know more about it during the discussion. Now, let me follow the seniority to, welcome others. So the most senior alumni we have is Bhavin. Bhavin, I remember in my class used to be the backbencher, always. But then later I found that it is because of his height. He was the most tallest, in his class. And if he sits in the front, then he will be blocking all the other students. So he will sit in the last bench near window, and he will be playing with his hand on the window. But he used to always be concentrating on what is going on in the class, and he will very enthusiastically take part in all discussions, raise doubts, raise points. So I remember very clearly this tall person at the back bench. So I warmly welcome Bhavin. Bhavin, can you share your journey after you have, it has been a long, so many years. It will take entire 1 hour for you to explain. But in brief, how it has been, your experience after you graduated, post-graduated from us.
Sure, sir, and thanks for brushing up the memories. As a backbencher, I like to be a backbencher. Yeah, and thanks for giving the opportunity to join today for this panel discussion along with the juniors and my friends here. And so coming to my journey after the NMIMS, so I got placed in Macleods in 2014. So I was the part of the first batch of MPharm MBA. So in 2011, this course was started by NMIMS, and we were the first batch who passed out in 2014. So after graduating, post-graduating in MPharm as well as in MBA, I got placed in Macleods. And thanks for NMIMS also for being a platform to connect us with the corporate world. It is very necessary during this period, the competitive world. So coming to my profile, fortunately, I got placed in international marketing, and still I remember when the placement cell of NMIMS gave us the presentation, they showed that the pie chart. In the pie chart, only 1% was the part of the international marketing place students. Oh. So I was very excited that I got placed, and I was a part of 1% now. So I guess now this 1% become a 10% because many juniors came after me in Macleods also for the international marketing. So when I started in 2014, and I realized that what we have learned is not the world. The real scenario in the corporate world is different because international marketing is something not the same, only the sales profile. There are different models which we have unfortunately not learned during the MBA program because it's not specific to the international marketing. But yeah, this is a platform, so I will just recommend to all the faculties and the Bala madam, if they can, because I know NMIMS is an SPTM especially is a institute which is very flexible enough to adopt and make a change in the course structure depending on the market requirement and the corporate world requirement. And the MPharm MBA is the best example for that. Even the BPharm MBA is also the best example. So for international marketing, it is not exactly the sales which we have learned so far and has been taught in the institutions. So fortunately, I got exposure in international marketing. I've traveled a lot for the different countries, different regions, Europe and US and North America and South Africa and North Africa. All those regions I have traveled. I have done the business development. I started with management trainee. So I was a part of the API sales also. I was part of the finished formulation. I am the part of the joint venture and mergers and everything. So far as it has been more than 6 years now in Macleods. I am still working in a Macleods, still happy with Macleods because they're giving a good exposure. So yes, but definitely NMIMS has played a very major role, and all the faculties to gear up and train us to be and take a stand in this competitive corporate world. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Bhavin, for expressing your journey. I think there are students who keep on changing jobs, and there are some students who stick to one place and really grow very fast. So I am really wishing that you will really be there in the top management in coming days.
Thank you, sir.
Let me now come to Ankit. Ankit, now my memory goes, Ankit never used to be a backbencher, neither used to be the front bencher. He was always with his friends groups, small groups, and I will always remember, but he also used to be very, very participative in the class discussions. And he also had some, important points and unique points he used to bring during the discussions. So Ankit, I welcome you. And I'd like to also share, I would like you to share your journey after you passed out from SPB SPTM.
Thank you, sir.
Graduated from SPB SPTM.
Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. And thank you to entire NMIMS faculty members, Dean ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. So after completion of my PG, that is MPharm plus MBA from NMIMS, I was placed in one of the startup company, which is a medical device company. And it was the first assignment. It was very challenging assignment that I have to launch one of the most innovative product in India, and that in orthopedics. And with God grace, and I would say the faculty members from NMIMS who supported us at that time, especially Manish sir, I would like to thanks to him because during that time I was in connection with him. That's how to launch this. This is very challenging thing which I have in my hand. So he guided me entire through, literally guided me entire through what exactly you need to do, how you need to develop your sales force. Because it was like you have given one home and that is completely empty and you have to fill it. So that is how it was started. And then we launched one of the most innovative product in India for orthopedics. And then after completion of 1 year, I was promoted as a senior product manager. And then I had been handling completely Indian market size, Indian market for the orthopedics. And then after completion of 2 years, I just thought let's stop and let's start with our own venture, because side by side I was doing my own some passion oriented programs like teaching students or mentoring them. So I just thought let's make it an opportunity and maybe I can grow in this well. So then I just quit the job and I started my venture in 2019 with e-learning platform for the pharmaceutical students. And with God grace, like and with parents' blessing, within entire 1 year, we have developed 3 portfolios. Like that is, one is e-learning platform, one is scientific writing, and another is clinical research certified courses. So within a year, we have grown very fast, and we had been registered independently as a MSME entity with Government of India. And these are the progress we have made in so far this year. And just 2 days or 3 days, couple of days back, we have won one award also, that is an International Excellence and Leadership Award for the most innovative startup in India. So that's all about us.
So congratulations on winning that award, Ankit. So wish you all the very best in future. Let me now come, because Pritesh is still not joined, so I will not like to introduce him. When he joins, I'll definitely take time out and introduce him, or maybe tell my memories of him. But let me come to Mohit now. Mohit, what I will say about Mohit. Now, Mohit used to be, I remember Mohit in my Operation Excellence class. We used to have a separate elective, a small batch, and Mohit was a part of that. And there, because of a small class, we used to get time to discuss a lot in interactive discussion. So we used to discuss how we are going to achieve Operation Excellence or excellence in Indian organizations as well as in our own lives. So Mohit, I hope you remember our discussions, how to excel in our own life.
Definitely.
I definitely think Mohit has set out on that path of excelling in his own life. So Mohit, we would like to know about from you how it has been from graduation or post graduation till now in your case.
Sure, sir. First of all, thank you so much for the warm welcome, sir. You really took me down to the memory lane, and it was great to have you as a professor, sir. Always a pleasure. And thank you so much for all the esteemed faculty members. Bala ma'am, it's always great to come back to your alma mater and you to discuss things. So to take things forward, I will just brush up through my career and my professional journey. So I started in the year 2018. So I joined Zimmer Biomet, which is a medtech firm. So we specialize into musculoskeletal healthcare. So I directly joined as a management trainee. And Zimmer Biomet, being the world leader in the musculoskeletal implant space, I was put as MT in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, a complete different geography. And I was taking care of their recon division, which is the reconstruction implants. That is the total knee replacement and the total hip replacement products, which are there. And as an MT, I was responsible for entire business development for the KOLs in Chennai as well as Vellore. I'm sure Vellore, they have good medical centers like Apollo and Chennai medical centers and all. So apart from then, I came back to Jaipur, Rajasthan. Last year I was part of the Rajasthan team, the same business development and sales and marketing team, where I was responsible to develop the Rajasthan market, Western Rajasthan. So if I just sum up, I had 2.5 years. I took 3 transfers alone into Zimmer Biomet. And currently from last year onwards, I'm posted into business strategy and corporate strategy domain. So what we are currently doing is to identifying growth opportunities, how we are going to go forward, which is in line to the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme that we have and the discussion that we are having today. Secondly, how do we capture the market? So that is one of the basic things that we need to look out. So that is a brief profile of what I have done, and I'm looking forward to go through the discussion.
Okay, thank you, Mohit. Now let us come back. Unfortunately, Pritesh is yet to join us, but let us come back to the main points of our discussion. Now, Atmanirbhar Bharat actually is actually standing on 2 strong pillars. One is vocal for local, right? and the other is producing in India for the world. So I am also going to focus on these two pillars separately. So let me start with the first pillar, that is vocal for local. And I may be asking a particular question to a particular panelist. Once he is through, others are always open. The floor will be open for them to even put forth their views on that particular aspect. So let me ask Ankit, because he has been into the startup. What does this vocal for local really mean to you? Is it, do you see it as a promise for Indian companies or startups like you? Maybe after that, maybe even Niloni can throw her own things on this, because both are involved into startups. Yeah.
Okay.
Ankit.
Thank you, sir. So actually, this is one of the most, you can say, important campaign for all of us who are starting some ventures. And see, vocal for local, it doesn't mean only that we need to buy a product from local brands. We also need to support them and promote them as well. Because today, like we are developing a very high quality and like you can say teaching materials, study materials for the pharmaceutical students. But at the same time, if we are not getting support or if we are not getting promoted by, you can say the people, so it is very difficult for us even to survive in this current scenario. So promoting as well and supporting both are required for our, you can say the local brands which are taking initiative to come up with some very new and unique ideas. And see, gone are the days when India was behind in terms of quality. That was the major issue at that time. Today we are ahead in terms of quality, even better than many other countries. But in that case, we need a support like to survive in this current scenario also. So that is the main thing which is required. So recently we even started one campaign our own firm, wherein we try to collaborate with very small startups, MSMEs and all those things, who are coming with some very innovative ideas, wherein we can work together, wherein we can promote each other on our platform, so that they can also get some highlights like what exactly they are doing. We can also get some highlights what exactly we are doing. So that's how we are trying to even support for each other. So I think this is like how vocal for local exactly playing a very vital role for us. And I believe that such partnership and such collaborations and agreements which we are doing at a very smaller scale, but it could be a future, and it could be definitely going to change the dynamic of the industry, which is currently changing very fast in today's era, especially in India. So that's how I think vocal for local is supporting us. And this is very good environment for startups who are looking to start their own ventures. So these are the things which were not just before, even 2 or 3 years before also. Today we are getting all these opportunities. And I believe that we have to keep some patience. We have to keep trust on government policies that it will implement soon or very slowly, but it will implement very soon.
Okay, Ankit. Mohit, if you remember, we used to discuss about a particular keyword or a particular tag word. When that tag word starts going everywhere in the organization, the thing starts happening.
Right.
We used to talk about it in our quality OPEX, right? So similarly, these keywords like vocal for local, is now this buzzing around in entire country, right? So definitely the policies will follow. It will take time, but definitely we are on the direction is set. Niloni, what has been your take on this, being a startup, how local for vocal is? I'll come back to Mohit later on, but Niloni, what is your...
Thank you, sir. So, Confera is all about vocal for local. So, the whole idea is to have our own Indian brand in the market, specifically having products that is suiting Indian skin needs. And especially now in today's context, this is so important for us because, gone are the days where everyone used to think that only, America or UK or Australia, these have really, the latest cosmetic products or the latest cosmeceutical products. The best part is now we have a chance to do that and introduce all of those international trends, innovative trends locally, make it locally in India, and specifically that suits the skin needs of local people. So our entire brand story, our entire company ethos, everything is vocal for local. So the timing couldn't have been better. In fact, this recent coronavirus crisis has even taught us that in one day, everything can shut. Your connectivity to the world can shut. In such a situation, when you have products that have the latest offerings and the latest development and innovations around you, it is so important to be independent. So I'm completely for vocal for local, and Confera defines that.
Okay. Great. I still remember that you contacted me some years back for some research work. I think it has to do with that. It is continuing with that same research which we organize, or it is something else?
So that research changed my life. If I have to say something, then one product that changed my life is a sunscreen.
Oh yeah, sunscreen. Yeah.
A sunscreen gave me all the direction that I needed in life, and I remember thinking that it is such a big country, and still there's such lack of a good sunscreen product, because there are not very good. There are tons of sunscreen right now in the country, but there is something or the other lacking. And to give fuel to my belief, I remember still calling up Harish sir that I want to carry out a pan-India, a very large sunscreen survey. And it was not just a research paper project, but a very much real life project where he has really helped me execute. And that's when I realized that, I got the most important consumer insights that I would needed to help me kickstart my entire journey of cosmetics. So it was that research that propelled me in this journey.
Good. I hope your sunscreen will also be, you will be looking at the middle and lower middle class, and you will make some kind of, what do you call, product for which is affordable to them also.
So
definitely. Then we will be really looking forward to it. Not only for cine stars, please.
No, absolutely. So as Confera aims to be a house of brands, so the first brand that we're going to be launching in February 21 looks at a little bit of a premium market. Yeah. But as you said, we are looking at all the different markets of consumers.
Okay. Thank you, Nandini. Okay, let me ask Mohit. Mohit, you said you are also working on vocal for local initiatives. So what exactly you people, because yours is basically a company which is not an Indian company. It's a US, right? It's a US based company.
Right, sir. Right, sir. It's a US based.
So how a company which is having a base at US is looking at this initiatives which Prime Minister is now one after another bringing it up?
Definitely, sir. So first of all, I would like to break this entire, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan into three different parts. Okay. These will be three integrated parts of all the manufacturing things that we are seeing around the world. So first of all is the quality of the product that we will be giving out to our consumer. Second would be the affordability of the products that are being manufactured, and how we can build into that affordability, because anything which is being imported attracts a custom duty and import tax. So automatically that elevates the price of that product. And third is the ease of doing business, which we commonly refer to as EODB. So these three pillars are something on which the Atmanirbhar Bharat is built upon. So starting with the quality, we need to improve the designing parameters, first of all, in India. So what the government is currently doing is, it is giving opportunities to all the MNCs to set up their own designing facilities into India. They have lucrative offers to set up the designing facilities and get going with the manufacturing of those designs into India. This will not only increase the affordability, as this will cut down on the import duties. This will also cut down on the taxes and the indirect taxations that we have when we import something from outside. Also, it will open the entire market, not only to India, but also to the SAARC countries, because India is such a strategic, based in such a strategic location that entire SAARC markets can be driven through the India alone. So that is something, all companies should move forward with the same vision.
Okay. So even company which is not an Indian company is definitely looking forward to these initiatives and taking advantage of the, whatever facilities will be offered to start making it in India. Okay, I still,
Right.
before we come to the second pillar, that is making in India for the world, and I will invite Bhavin a bit later. But I remember my own experience. I just like to, because Pritesh is not there, so I have to also fill up the gap. So I remember it was in '95 when I joined Britannia Biscuits. We used to have British ovens, okay, where we bake the biscuits, and the burners there used to be a oil controller, pressure controller. And those controllers, they used to, when I joined, they were importing it directly from the OEM, the original equipment manufacturing, that is UK. And each one used to cost us around 50,000, and we used to buy at least 20. So around 10 lakh rupees every year, they were just burning in buying those controllers. So when I joined, I saw this is a normal controller, and why they are importing it. So then I came to know that there is a lot of fear. These British people, when they were here, they have instilled in the Indian, workers, that if you change this, if you touch this, there will be blasts, and the entire oven will get, ruptured. So I took the responsibility. I said, don't worry, this is a simple back pressure controller. And luckily, I found that time in one of the exhibitions, a VKE company, which is a local company, local manufacturing. They give me that controller in 3,000 rupees, just 3,000 rupees. And they gave me entire backup to install it and prove it. And within 2 months, we were able to really get it set. And so the point what I'm trying to tell you is here is that definitely Indian products will be cheaper, but there is a kind of transformation in the thinking of the people has to happen, right? So this particular vocal for local definitely will be a sort of a platform for doing this. That fear has to go. And even if sometimes our products can be bit inferior, we are in the process of learning. So, but it is our duty to, as consumers, to find out what are the mistakes and convey it to the manufacturers and help them to improve. Then only we are able to. So there will be some kind of assistance we have to provide as a manufacturers, as a users, as a startup people, to the other startup peoples. So this is what I will like to clearly say in this. Now let me move forward to the making in India for the world. And let me invite Bhavin, because Bhavin has been traveling all over the world and doing international business. Bhavin, what is the scope? Do Indian products can stand international, especially in pharma, international competition, especially from China or other things? And how is the overall, mood about the entire world to looking at Indian products? So Bhavin.
Yeah. So straightforward, coming to the answer of your question, it is yes, but how?
Okay.
So let me discuss first on the pharma side, then I will move on to my personal experience for the FMCG, because this question is coming related to the world consumers, not overseas consumers, not for the Indian consumers. So coming to as I mentioned, Niloni and Mohit and Ankit has discussed their own experience. So out of that, I would like to say that for becoming a Indian product, so for vocal for local, the first thing is manufacturing the product in India. Second, make that product an Indian brand. And third, that Indian brand become Indian brand, a global brand. There are various aspects and challenges are attached to that, but it is not that big enough to make Indian product as global brand, because there are a lot of opportunities overseas. So coming to your questions related to the pharma first. So there is no doubt, because India is the pharmacy of the world right now, specifically for the pharma. We are the largest manufacturer of finished formulation and exporter in the world. So in US and Europe, India has the highest contribution for importing the pharma products from India. And the leg part on the India on pharma side is we have a very good repo and the manufacturing for finished formulation, but we don't have much enough strength for the raw material and API production. So we are still depending on China for API and raw materials. we are importing more than 70 to 80% API. This is our own experience. That's why I want to share with you, because I have handled the API sales also. So we are importing all the raw materials and KSM, which called key starting material for manufacturing of the API, which is the first stage of any pharma product. We are importing from China. So from this initiative, now many companies in India, including us, also now have a vision to, we already have an API site, but we would like to expand, and other companies in India also. And I would like to recommend all the people who want to open their startups. The API is the side, the manufacturing of the API is the area which is still, we don't have enough efficiency and capacity to manufacturing in India. And that's why we are depending on China. So in pharma, we are depending on China only because of the API. The day when we start manufacturing and self-reliant on our own API for pharma, we don't need to be dependent on China. So now coming to your question for the world. So as I mentioned, we are right now for pharmacy for the world. So Europe and US are completely, or might be, they are importing their 60 to 70% finished formulation I'm talking about from India. Because we have a lot of facility in India which are approved by US FDAs, MHRA, all the European unions and all other regulatory bodies. So there is no doubt for the pharma sector, especially for the vocal for local. Now coming to the FMCG, yes, we have to improve our vocal for local for FMCG. And I would like to share one experience where in 2018, I was in Canada. And in the evening, I went to the department stores to buy some stuff. And I saw there the Patanjali brand. There is a whole showcase make of all the Patanjali brands, soaps and toothpaste and biscuits and everything in Canada. So, and people are buying, all the Indian people were buying, even they also promoting the Patanjali to their foreigner, to their friends. So in Canada, I have experienced many people are using Patanjali brand. And India and for pharmacy, they are using the manufacture Indian products, because in Canada, they don't have a manufacturing. So this is the one second aspect, that in Europe and US, they don't have the manufacturing capacity to manufacture pharma products. That's why they are reliable on China and India. They are reliable on China for API, the raw material. They are reliable on India for the finished formulation. But still the case of FMCG. So if you have a good product and if you have a good promotion for your product, the world is open for you. World is ready to accept your product if it is quality, if it has a quality, if it has a right value, and if it has a good branding. As mentioned by Mohit, the good packaging. So now this vocal for local theme can also give the emotional touch to the consumer. Yeah. Not even in India, but also overseas. Because if I go to any country right now, anywhere in the world, you point out that this is the Nigeria, let's say. So in Nigeria, nowhere in the world where the Indians are not present. Everywhere Indians are there. So Indian can promote the products, and we also have to promote our products. We have to first manufacture the product to compete with the global brands. Once it becomes an Indian brand, then we have to promote it and make it a global brand. So it all depending on you. World is there, and they are really ready to accept Indian products.
Okay, good. Good that you touched Nigeria, because I was in Nigeria for 7 years. The point is that because most of the places in the world, as an Indian citizen or Indians as such, they have a particular place. People look at them as a sincere people. They can be relied upon, and that really, can be taken to our products. The same thinking can be, taken it to our products. So that is what really is working for India, especially, if after this particular COVID experience, definitely China is on a back foot all over the world.
Haresh, sorry to interrupt you. I just want to share one more thing.
Yes, please go ahead.
I had experience, and even the other pharma companies also had experience. There are few countries in the world. So because you touched the point of perception of the product, which is very most important if you want to make your product as a global product.
Yes.
So related to the perception of the products, there are many countries in the world right now who are not ready to import the Indian products. They are okay if the product has been manufactured in India. They don't care about the manufacturing, but they don't want to make in India, made in India on the product label. They are okay with the made in USA or made in Canada or made in Europe. Even though the same product has been manufactured in India, they don't care of. For the pharma, I am talking about. So this kind of perception still there. But yes, eventually now we are seeing that their mindsets are becoming changed, because now we have a good approvals, stringent regulatory approvals we are facing, and we are passing our manufacturing sites related to US and Europe. So they are now adopting, but the perception is there. So this is not related to only the pharma, but for other sectors also. There is a perception related to the Indian brand, but that perception we have to change by giving the good quality. There are in the world, there are a lot of the people are ready to pay high cost, but they care about the quality. And after this crisis of COVID, many people are, and even we are also now very conscious about the quality and hygiene. So the product has to be the right quality and right value. The world is there to take your product.
Okay, good. So let me now ask you a very sensitive question. See, it's all there that this vocal for local, Atmanirbhar Bharat, everything is there in the air. But when it comes to ground realities, when it comes to the actual assistance, which a startup should get, or the Indian companies should get, are there any? See, like PM usually does Man Ki Baat. I think this Sunday also has it. So if there are some suggestions or some issues you people are facing, or you feel that this is what you may not be facing personally, but you have heard of it, that the ground realities need to change, we'll definitely like to keep this particular question open for that. We'll like to take down, whatever are your points, and maybe we'll try to convey it to the right, authorities in the government, that this is what our panel discussion has really pointed out, that these are the areas where the government machinery has to focus and help. It can be with respect to finance, it can be with respect to some other issues, administrative issues. So with your experience or with your knowledge, you can be pointing out. So floor is open, you can start. These are basically suggestions for government authorities, machineries, to make sure that Atmanirbhar Bharat really works. Anyone can start.
So I would like to first point out some
issues.
Yes. Because for startup, it is dual question, nothing else.
We are recording this, so I am going to sit down later and note down all the points and make sure that it reaches PM.
Yes. So first thing is like there are several announcements for the startup, that is true, but the process has to be very easy. That is still very complicated. That has to be made very easy, because still the process, and before process I would come like there's lack of awareness also. Still like there has been several announcements in the news and channels, but still lack of awareness is there in terms of if you want to start something of your own. Let's take example, if someone is going to start something, his venture at the age of just say 10 or 12, but at that age he or she is not going to have complete idea like how entirely he has to start his venture. There is no particular guideline like how you can start with a very simple process step. That is still lacking there somewhere. And like doing some campaigns like Atmanirbhar and this vocal for local, these are the good things, but still some initial steps which need to be still furnished, and some need to be more into a discussion point, like how they can start something. Like in today's world, there's no age bar to start something of your own thing. So it should be very easy for someone to start a venture. And once we start some venture, so the process has to be very easy, so that we can avail all those benefits which are being communicated in the channels for the benefits.
Okay. Thank you, Ankit. Mohit, you will like to add something to this?
So, sir, just to add to Ankit's point, the process should be easy. So that definitely translates into ease of doing business, which the government of India has to, make it easy for the startups, for the big companies, for the local companies to, get into the Indian market, have market access, and, take the things further. So just a very simple example I'll give in terms of product registration, because I'm from a product background, from a product organization. So there are the costs for registering a product with the Indian government is so high that sometimes the revenues which are coming from that product, or with the startups which have come up, they are not able to match it. So it really takes 2 to 3 years just to take down that entire registration cost. And if God forbids, if you have to change just, if you just have to change the address of the establishments into the government records for that particular products, you have to again pay for the entire product fee. So that is something which creates a bottleneck in terms of any startup which is coming up, or any big company for that matter, because we have seen 2020, which was completely down by COVID. So any big company also, if he wants to change the establishment, they have to change all the addresses with their products. And that needs to have a complete different revenue downside for the company. So that is one thing which the government should ease out.
Okay, good. Niloni, do you have any suggestions for our PM? Niloni, I think voice, Niloni, voice.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I'm on mute, sorry. Yeah, adding to Mohit's point, I think that is a very, very valid point. There are a few norms that are set by the government, especially related to, say, NFDA application of a product, like a product license, a product registration. It could be something as simple as the product formula stays the same, but you're just changing the product name, but still one has to go through such a rigorous process. So much documentation. And that is one thing, the entire process could be simplified. Like even my suggestion is that, the FDA bodies say, so I'm working with the Goa FDA a lot because the plant is based out of Goa. So, these kind of processes, if they are simplified, so it would become much easier for the process to speed, like the process would, speed up much faster, and you can get results faster than just unnecessarily doing a lot of documentation.
Yeah, so looks like that most of the things are boiling down to a proper administration and quick turning around the things. The speed of the operations at administrative level has to improve. Good. Now there are some questions. The chat box is running with some questions, and there are some already students have some questions. So let me now go to those questions. And maybe I'll point out to a particular panelist, or if you have something to say, you can always participate. Now, let me just read out so that I don't miss out on anything. And then if we have already covered that, then I may not take it. Okay. Let me start with factors affecting vocal for local and how to overcome those. Jinit Mehta. I think most of these things have been covered, factors affecting vocal for local. But do you think we have missed out on something? Or I'll just take this, the next question. Do you think the poor average product quality and higher cost of product makes vocal for local a bit tough? Jinit Mehta. I think this also has been addressed because we clearly mentioned that, panelists clearly mentioned that. First, it has to be our product has to become a very good brand in India, right? And that has to do with its quality and acceptance and getting over all the problems, initial problems. And then only we should go for the next. So that is what poor and average quality, I think Bhavin also mentioned, is not going to help. Isn't it, Bhavin?
Yeah.
So that will be a clear
We
no.
are in a very competitive era, and we have to defend with the global brands. So quality should, and after this COVID crisis, quality does matter on the first priority now for everyone.
See, we have to actually understand that quality initially will cost the organizations. It is not going to come free. You have to have good investment in raw materials, good investment in people, in machinery. So initially there is going to be a good amount of outflow and the returns may not come immediately, right? But definitely if you stick your neck into this, you are going to get the returns afterwards, and then they will come in a big way. So that belief has to be there. But what happens is that most of the times the capital is limited. So government again has a role in here. Maybe they will provide some capital for quality enhancement. If they can do something like that, it will be helpful. Definitely. Now, good questions. How do we find investors? Now, this is Janavi Bhavsar. How do we find investors? So the startup people, can you just throw some light on this? Niloni and Ankit. Investors.
We did bootstrapping. So we couldn't find the investors. So finding investors is not really easy. But nowadays, if you participate in the webinars or seminars, investors do come there also. So you can find some good investors over there. So like we participated just a week before in some investor summit. So in such webinars, if you like to participate, there you can find some investor, because during this pandemic time, it's not possible to attend offline somewhere. So you can attend online seminars or webinars to find the investors.
Okay. Niloni, investors. I know you might not have faced that problem, but
actually we had the backing of the parent company, but 90% of Confra is promoter backed and 10% is investment. So while investment has not been an issue as such, but justifying the investment has been quite a task. Okay. Because in the last 2.5 years, at every point, the board questions on every single decision to convince them of your vision, to convince them of letting you take that investment is a challenge. So that has been a challenge.
Okay, good.
So just to add to Niloni and Ankit over here, so I would say I'm lying on the other side of the table on being an investor. Coming from a US company background, we are looking for the companies to take over, something like that. Okay. But what I would say over here is, what is the uniqueness of the products? That is something which any investor would look for you into your product. Secondly, what market are you targeting? So if there is a niche market, then you have a high chances of getting backed by an investor which do not have a competitor out over there. So that is something which is very important.
Yeah, definitely. Investor will like to, make sure that if the returns come, and if there is a competition, there will be a lot of burnout there.
Right.
Definitely. So the next question is from Azania. She says, do you think India can become independent for API production? I think the question has been already answered by Bhavin. That definitely yes, but we have to really work towards it, and quality will definitely matter. But we can be the pharmacy of world, tomorrow's pharmacy for world. Next question is Vaibhavi Mishra. What are the opportunities for people graduating this year? And there is, the students always want to know about this, that whether such initiatives are going to give more opportunities for employment, or is it going to go in a reverse? So what is your stake with respect to employment in today's world, as well as these initiatives? Because COVID has been a tough year. Even the employments are down. Most of the companies were not recruiting. In fact, they are reducing their. Do you see the things to improve in coming days? The students want to know. Anyone?
I would like to say something on this.
Yes.
So when it was like happened a COVID at that moment, surprisingly, I observed something very, you can say, unexpected thing. So before COVID, it was like, it was very difficult to get any person for e-learning platform to work with us at that time. But after COVID, like CVs, like I got, my mails was flooded with all the CVs. So the thing is like unemployment somewhere, it has been risen to somewhere. And still the current scenario is still like, it is improving, but it's not so fast. Like people are still unemployed and they are looking for the jobs. And I believe that in this current scenario, now it's our responsibility that we have to take some steps there are a lot of you can say opportunities, and a lot of chunks are available which you can avail. So a lot of untapped opportunities are there in the market. Like the changes which I observed in this time is like people started working freelancing. Yeah. So this is something like a change which had been observed in this last 5 to 6 months. So definitely anyone can take up this, and we are at home, so we can leverage all those skills and all those opportunities which are available currently. So we have to adopt the change and we have to find the opportunity out of it.
Okay, let me take a specific question, and this is coming from Divya Madam herself. Now she's talking about medical device sector, and in medical device sector, do you think the quality of Indian products is comparable to the international? When it comes to Mohit, I think you can also talk about this, maybe orthopedics. How is the Indian products are comparable to Zimmer quality?
So first of all, sir, just to add what Bhavit said earlier, so India is known to be the pharma capital of the world. But on the opposite side, when we talk about medical devices, India constitutes of only 3% of the global medical devices trade, which is happening. That is the total global medical devices sector. India is just 3%. Now coming to the second thing is the quality. So medical devices, if we just talk about the musculoskeletal health into which my company is operating, it's an oligopolistic market. Not many players are there. There are just 4 to 5 players, and none of them is an Indian player. I would, and slowly and gradually, the Indian companies are catching up. But then when a product is very intrinsic in nature, or when the product is being installed into human body, the quality plays a very different level at that point of time. The more stringent there are rules and regulations, you would be very amazed to see that India does not have as stringent rules and regulations as Bangladesh has. Though Bangladesh doesn't have any such kind of infrastructure that India has, but their quality rules and regulations are far much better than India. So that is something which the Atmanirbhar Bharat has to go above, and they have to build in the quality. So that was the first point I took, that there must be a quality into manufacturing.
I think I hope Divya Madam has answered your question. There is one question which some of the students have asked. Actually, I'm just having some questions posted yesterday, but there are some live questions also. Now, this question is maybe Niloni or Ankit can answer. What is the starting point of startup in your brain or maybe in your heart? What is that which really stop a startup in reality? Niloni.
So according to me, it has to be an insight. So for me, it was a consumer insight. But it is an insight that leads you to thinking, and then you find a niche area. And then once you find that niche area, you do all your diligent homework around that area. You study the competitive landscape thoroughly. You study the subject in and out. You understand the opportunities present in India currently. And then with a lot of preparations and hard work, you can achieve what you want. But the whole starting point is that one insight that will define everything. Insights are very important.
I think whoever has asked the question, you have to be very, very sensitive to really, understand that insight, like Niloni was, and keep your eyes and ear open, but also feel what customer really feels. Okay. There are some questions before I go, but there is a general question. Now, let me just ask this, because you're all students. There is a question which is there: how to handle pressure during exams and study well, and how to avoid nervousness. Before I go to the live questions, please, I think everyone can give their own small tips to the students: how to handle nervousness, how to crack exams in SPP, SPTN, maybe especially pharmacy. Yes, please, Niloni, and then later on everyone.
I don't say don't be nervous. Nervousness is something that SPT, you will feel that before every exam, but be confident and it will pay off well. Study hard, be confident, and prepare well. There's, SPTM is a world of opportunities, and make use of every opportunity.
So prepare well, don't be nervous. Okay. Ankit, what is your take on this?
Sir, pressure is something which we have felt in MMS, and this is like it brings out the best version out of you. That is one of the important things which I observed during my graduation, and you cannot resist the pressure. That is the fact. The only thing is like pray God, rest everything is going to be fine. So you just need to spend some time with Haresh for his subject. He will motivate you. And surprising, those questions are not going to come in exams.
Okay. Mohit, students are waiting for your suggestions.
So first of all, I would like to say the pressure, I don't know about the exams, but presentations had a lot of pressure on me. Every time, whenever there was a presentation, it had a lot of pressure. Now coming to exams, I would say, just pay attention into the class, be analytical. There is nothing which, really you would find into a kind of book. It's everything practical. When you relate it to the real world scenario, you can just write it down in the paper. That's it.
Bhavin, it has been long you have left the college, but do you still remember your way of handling pressure?
Yeah, yes, for exam, yes, sometimes, especially for your paper, be honest. And not for the presentation, because I like to give the presentation, so never I have been afraid. But I have 3 points to tell to the juniors or the students. So be honest for your work, be loyal, have attitude for learning always, and be disciplined for your work. If you follow these 4, it will not only help you for your institution, exams, and presentation, but these 4 definitely will help you for your corporate world. It will create. You have to create your own brand first. Then you create the other consumer, other manufacturers' product as a brand. So become you as a brand, as a group brand, and your attitude, your honesty, and your loyalty will definitely help you to create that. If you follow these 4, then never you have to be afraid for anything in your life.
Okay. Thank you, Bhavin. Thank you for guiding students. Let me just quickly take some of the questions which have come here. I think 4 or 5 are there, because if I don't take them, then they will catch me in the college. Sir, mera question aapne liya nahi. So like Bhavik Doshi is asking, especially in medtech, a lot of components are continued to be imported. The present regulatory framework is much challenging in terms of gaining regulatory approvals, which leads to delay in the manufacturing of end product. And also entry holding costs also adds. So what does the Atmanirbhar Bharat program hold in their PIGI to overcome this bottleneck? So is the Atmanirbhar program is going to take this particular problem that components have to be right now getting imported, most of the things. So especially in the medtech area. So I don't know whether anybody has this experience in this medtech area, imports. Can we substitute those imports by local, like which I gave example, or it is going to take some time?
Definitely, you can substitute your product, the components, not even the components, and this could be one example. But for the other industries also, there are a lot of things which we are importing. So that's why Atmanirbhar Bharat came up and was initiated by PM Modi, that we have to substitute the imported product as an Indian product. So that's why the Atmanirbhar Bharat, if we have to start manufacturing those products which we are right now importing. So someone has asked in the chat box how to start up and from where to start up. So this could be one of the era to look into what we are importing right now in India, and what a percentage and what the value is. You have to make a roadmap. You have to make more studies, and what are the challenges and how to make it in India. That could be the one aspect of seeing forward to become and start a startup in India. So there are lots of opportunities, as I mentioned. So importing ban, or we cannot ban the import. as per the WTO, the World Trade Organization. We cannot ban anything to import. But once we stop using those products, imported products, it will be definitely affect the importation. So that's why the Atmanirbhar Bharat says to start manufacturing, use the Indian products and make the product.
So just to give perspective to what Bhavin said from the medical technology side, so first of all, we need to understand how much of the medical technology things are coming or imported in India. So around 80% of the products, sophisticated products which are available into India, which pertains to the medical technology sector, are imported. Now, secondly, coming to the regulatory things. So when you talk about regulatory, it almost takes 8 to 9 months for a product to get registered when especially it is imported. Everybody, every other panel member can, just second that thought, I think. Now, third, coming to the inventory holding costs and all. So that particular cost, or what you will say as inventory holding cost, that has to be built into your revenue, because until unless you do not have an approval or do not have a registration into India, you cannot go for selling into India. Secondly, you do not have an opportunity for a downstreaming manufacturing. The only thing you can do is you can completely manufacture the components in India and sell at a locally made product. You don't have to rely completely on the import side. So that's the one basic thing that which need Atmanirbhar Bharat is trying to achieve: a complete indigenous manufacturing of the component without being reliant into the import things.
Okay. I think this question has been answered properly, but there are some more questions now coming up with respect to COVID. So some student has asked, others, most of the things we have covered, so I'm just skipping them. But one student has asked, what is the scenario for startups post-COVID? Is there a new, opportunities are getting there available post-COVID? So anything to do with COVID-related scenarios? Anyone want to share anything?
Yes, even I would like to share something on this. So we started one division, that is scientific writing, and we started in the month of January this year. And like at that time, no one assumed that there will be a COVID, something like that. So while it happened, this pandemic, at that time, we started receiving a lot of papers on COVID. So that was something, a new opportunity which came into the field, into the scientific writing. Like a lot of research started happening in India. A lot of people started doing surveys on COVID, and they started writing papers to publish it. So that was an opportunity which came because of COVID. And I think maybe we handled only 20 projects, but I believe in India, a lot of publication happened during this time. Even in the world, a lot of publication happened at that time. So that was an opportunity which came, you can say, post-COVID. So many more opportunities are there which you can, avail the opportunities post-COVID. So I think in comparison to job, like right now, startups and opportunities are more post-COVID.
I'd like to add to that, and I feel there are so many opportunities that will now slowly come to light because of the whole COVID scenario. For example, in my industry, a lot of packaging primarily comes from China, and product packaging and fancy packaging. There are options available in India, but the kind of packaging that you get in China, because of this whole COVID situation, we tried to go as local as possible, and consciously we made a decision that we would not try to take anything from China, and we started looking for local options. So while we did manage to get our hands on some good packaging, but I feel there's a huge opportunity in the whole packaging industry. That is one area, at least in all the brands that are completely front facing and completely towards the consumer, B2C market. Packaging is the language for your products. If the packaging is good, then only people are going to go to your product, especially in an online world, because your completely packaging is what is defining your product. So I believe there is a huge opportunity in the entire packaging scenario.
Oh, yes. Because what we see is the package when we are ordering online, and definitely if it attracts, we are definitely going to go for it. So I think we are overshooting the time allotted to us, and there are many other questions. So what I will request, what we will do, we can collate these questions and then maybe we can forward it to the panelists later on, and they can maybe answer separately on emails or something like that. So I think let me now move towards our organizing committee in charge, Manish sir. Manish sir, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am there.
So Manish sir, you have been a veteran in the pharma world. So definitely we'll like to know your thoughts also. And maybe you can, if other faculties are there, they can also share their thoughts on Atmanirbhar Bharat, vocal for local, or made in India for world. And we can take it forward from there.
It was really a very engrossing thing that we saw for the last almost 1 hour and almost 20 minutes now. And I'm sure we can go on for another next 2-3 hours. It's really, very stimulating talk which is going on. One thing which came out very vividly is that you don't need an apple to fall on your head. Even a sunscreen will do, right? So that's the thing that which is coming out of that's a takeaway. Yeah, and I'm really happy to see that somebody really brought out that point about insights, right? When we talk about making the brand plan and the other thing that we do, even Mohit would bear me out, is that, we used to look at insights, right? When you're making a brand plan or when you're looking at a new idea and all that, it is basically the insight which really, takes it to the next level, right? So thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, I know I've been talking to Ankit quite a bit and he really owes me a lot of consulting fees that he has to give me. So it's good that we had this conversation today. Yeah, overall, I think, and even, I'm sorry, I haven't met Bhavin before, but I think Bhavin was really, very impactful with his comments about what's happening in the international field and other stuff and all that. Right. I think I don't have anything much to add because there are a lot of things that have been said and already conveyed and all that. And I think what we need to do and all the questions that we saw is that we need to have an attitude. Right? I think that's an attitude that we need to follow, right? A vocal for local and made in India kind of thing. And I think the COVID thing has really made us stand up and realize that, okay, things can be done here, right? Like as Bhavin pointed out, why should you have 65% of APIs imported, right? Why should US have 95% of medicines coming in from China? It makes you so vulnerable, right? Why can't you have, like Mohit said, why can't you have a quality which really, stands out? You don't have a single good cell phone manufacturer in the country, right? Why should it be all Realme and Redmi and all the me's of the world kind of thing, right? So it can be done. There has to be an attitude which has to be done. And it also augurs that you've got to have ease of doing business, like somebody pointed out. Right? Years back, when I used to travel to Singapore, they used to tell me that if you land up by the morning flight at 8 o'clock in Singapore, right, you could be up and starting your business by lunchtime, right? And that was a time when it took even 2 years for me to get a MTNL connection for a landline. Okay, now things have improved, but things have to really improve better, much better than that, right? So I think all in all, a very good session that we had. I'm not sure if anybody from the faculty who's already on, like Anshul ma'am or Sarika ma'am, would like to have any comments. Anybody would like to have any comments before I, formally propose the vote of thanks? Sarika ma'am, Anshul ma'am, would you like to add something?
Hello, sir. Yeah, it was a very nice session, and it was kind of very nice to, get to hear from the students after a long time, and few of them thought. Actually, I completely agree with the points that has been discussed here, and more, it's something that needs to be come from within, like the self-confidence and the attitude that we can make it. First, I think we need to work from there, and then I think that's where the journey will start, and definitely we can achieve this dream. As such, no specific comment or question. Really enjoyed the session. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much, Anshul ma'am. Okay, Pratiti, can I propose the vote of thanks, or is there somebody else who would like to put in a word?
No, sir, you can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So at the very outset, let me thank Bala ma'am, because it's been her support all along that we've been doing all these activities in IIC. So thank you, ma'am, so much for being so supportive and being always there. A big thanks to Divya, ma'am, for really taking all the pains. I saw her last WhatsApp message at 2 a.m. in the morning, right? It was Christmas time for her yesterday, even birthday time for her, right? And despite all that, she was working till 2 a.m. and trying to set up things for this thing. So thank you for that. Thank you all the panelists for joining. Right, like I know you are alumni of the college, and we have all the right to disturb you at any time in the day or the night. But I'm sure. Thank you so much for joining. It was really good to have you with us. Right. Thank you, Harish sir. Like I know he's been very popular. In fact, I have seen students coming and asking me what elective Harish sir is going to take next semester. Right. People choose subjects because those are taken by Harish sir. Can you believe that? Can you really believe that? But that's what's happening here, right? So thank you so much, sir. You've always been a great moderator. So thank you for taking us through that. And I see a lot of alumni joining in who are colleagues of people on the panel. Yeah, that's great. That's really great. I would like to tell Sarita ma'am that let's have a panel discussion of more people so that more of their colleagues would join in from Glenmark and other people and all that, other companies and all that. So thanks for doing that, Alay Joshi and I think Sharon Paul, and I saw quite a few of them. So thanks for joining in. And a big thanks to all my student friends, colleagues and faculty colleagues who really joined in on 26th today because it being a vacation kind of holiday and all that. Thanks to all the students for joining in. And Harish has got a point, yeah.
Yeah, no, you have to ask everyone to stay back for the photographs, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Don't forget. Let me do all the honors first. So, and last but not least, a big thanks to Aryaman and Pratiti, right? They've been always there. They've been always there, right? Like we come and go for each of these events and all that, but they are always there. So thanks for being there, doing all the admin work, all the background work, Pratiti and Aryaman. And so who's taking the photograph now? Friends, can you please put on your video so that we can take the photograph? Can everybody put on their video for a brief 10-seconder?
I think Divya madam is taking the photograph.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
I request all of you to start your videos, please.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Pratiti, over to you.
Yes, sir. So we are at the end of the session. I think, Divya ma'am, should we conclude now?
Yes, Pratiti.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I thank you all, especially Bala ma'am, Harish sir, Manish sir, all our student panelists. Bala ma'am, you want to add on something?
No, it was just wonderful. 1 second. It was just wonderful listening to you all. I was so happy and proud to see our students doing so well in life and coming up with different perspectives and different thought processes for our juniors, for teachers also. If we could have some forum or some place where they can place all their ideas and what we can do to make our juniors, our incoming batches much better, their inputs. That will be where they can collect, where we can collect all their inputs. That will be a great thing for us to have. That's one point that had come to me. And like somebody had mentioned that international marketing, by now we must have got that subject already. These inputs are very, very valuable to us, whatever suggestions they are giving. Another thing I was very impressed is that Niloni had come back and she had a interaction, and then they had done some survey which had actually helped her out to take out. So being at the interface of pharmacy and management, that's what is another good place to be for all our students also, because they are experiencing both the disciplines. And so this they should do, the multidisciplinary approach they will have to continue in life, especially if they want to get into medical devices, medical technology, which is going to be the future, and IT and e-learning and such things, and pharma. If they want to connect, then they will have to have more interdisciplinary approach. So the connect between students, alumni and teachers will have to enhance, which will help us out. This is a lesson that I am taking back. So thank you so much for giving me so many inputs. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, with your permission, can I end the meeting?
Please, please.
Yeah. So thank you to all the participants and our other alumni for spending your time with us. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to have this event. So thank you very much, and have a very good evening.
Thank you so
And
much
Merry
for having
Christmas
us.
and Happy New Year too.
Yeah, Merry Christmas
Same
and
to you.
Happy New Year too.
Same to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.